Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm back here with more Transformers. You guys can see this time is Seaspray. I got this one from Walmart here in the US. It was around $25, $24.97. It showed up here pretty quickly. I ordered this on like a Thursday one week, and within 2 days it was here at my doorstep. So hey, really nice. I think this is part of the whole Walmart retro G1 inspired figures, but obviously based on a new mold. So of course Seaspray is one I've been looking forward to for a bit now. I do have the Titans Return version, which I'll be doing a comparison to, but it's nice to see this retro inspired one. I'm assuming at some point we'll probably get a more I guess cartoon accurate one, which in all honesty is probably just the different head here. But again, if you are getting these for the packaging, this is really nice. It's like a card back, but I appreciate again the whole G1 retro motif they got going on along here with the tech specs and the little blurb here on Seaspray and his naval defense is his function. So again, really cool there. Gonna open this up. Again, pretty simple. I don't keep mine in my boxes really, so I open all my figures. So we're gonna pardon old noise here. Relatively simple packaging, which I actually do love. And of course you get the figure there, it's just some cardboard, and of course your instructions, which look to be also retro inspired here. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same instructions you get, but you guys can see it there, Seaspray. So I'm gonna cut this guy out of here, out of his plastic prison, and give it a better, closer look. All right, so got him out of the plastic prison there. You do get his gun, which is relatively simple, gray plastic there with some nice detailing, nothing too complex, but good enough for a figure this size. Of course, he can hold his gun here. If I can just put it in the section here in the hand, and you guys can see he could hold the gun pretty well. I actually underestimated his size a bit, I guess because I'm so used to the Titan Return version, which I actually have right here. Yeah, so as you guys can see, he is much bigger. If you have this version, yeah, don't expect it to be the same size. This little guy here is probably going to get relegated to maybe my vehicle fleet, where I keep all my older Transformers in their vehicle modes, and this one of course will be my new rep in my G1 shelf. Right off the bat, I don't know if he's mistransformed in the box or something's wrong here. Doesn't look like this chest piece or this torso piece is in, so I'm gonna have to mess around with that. As you guys can see, it kind of came off, so maybe it just needs to be pushed in place. So just something to be aware of. Maybe yours came like this. You may need to play with it and fix it. But yeah, you guys can see him there. Again, looking pretty cool. Definitely loving the color, the blue, the yellow with the white. Always went really well. Pretty big fan here of the little mini bots that we're getting in this new Transformers series, at least the updated versions. They look really cool. Of course, the head here for this guy is more toy inspired versus the cartoon. I believe the cartoon just didn't have the little lines on the on the mouth, and I think the eyes were also different. So we'll see whether they release that a more cartoon accurate version, and if I do decide to get it. But again, looking really cool. You've got his propellers here on the back that do spin in place. So again, that's really cool. Articulation wise, you got the arms, which do move all the way around. You can move them out all the way. You've got your elbow, which is way more than 90. The hands here are not articulated. There's no wrist articulation there either, but there is waist. So you can move this guy fully all the way around. The head here, the top part here gets in the way, but you can move the head just about all the way around. Yep, all the way around, no issues there. Kick forward, probably about that much. It looks like there's some plastic there that's hitting. So again, just something to be cautious about. And you can kick back pretty well. Knees, of course, you got your awesome knee articulation, 90. So again, that's really cool. And this guy's always got big feet, so it's nice that we get some nice articulation here with this guy. And you've got ankle as well. So That's really cool. Left and right, doesn't, not much up and down, but yeah, and you can spin the leg fully around here on the thigh. So again, I think for this size of little mini bot, he does look pretty cool there. Gonna mess around with the transformation and yeah, get to go into the vehicle mode. And also one thing you could do with the gun, looking after the instructions, is other than holding it, he can apparently also attach it here to the one fin that you have there. There's a little hole there on the gun, and he can put that there just like so. So again, really cool options there. Now moving on to the transformation here, we're going to attempt to get this guy in his hovercraft mode, and I'll also explain some of the annoyances that I've experienced with this guy. So starting out here with this head, we're gonna turn this around. I'm gonna take these arms here and flip them as well, so they sit like this. And same thing here, we're gonna take these arms and do that. Once we have that in place, there's this little plate back here on the back that you're gonna undo. Just flip it up for now. Then here come the annoyances, and this is something I hope they fix in an eventual re-release when they do a different head or a cartoon like head. These panels here on the side, right, they're supposed to lift off and swing out. This panel here on his right side, which is on your left, was okay. You're supposed to flip it out, but as you could see, it easily comes off. This one wasn't too bad. This one just kind of flies off as soon as you take it off. It's like, I don't know if it's these little posts here where they're supposed to tab into the abdomen here are not, these are not long enough for one. I think they're a little too short. So they both just kind of come off. You're supposed to kind of swing them out and have them just kind of hanging out here per the instructions. But in all honesty, I kind of feel like it's better if I just pull these out. You're not supposed to do that. They're just not, I don't think that was a well-engineered piece. They kind of just don't sit in there as they should. So just pretend like you have these pieces sort of hanging out here on the side. We'll put them back on later. Next thing is essentially you got to pull this whole section out. So you'll see it comes, this orange top part comes separate from this white part here. So you just kind of do that. And then you're going to swing this forward, and it's going to tab in there like so, like that. For now, you just leave all this stuff a bit loose for now. Next thing to do would be the legs, and I was a bit impressed with all the panels here and all the little folding things that go in place. You're going to undo this on both sides, on the back, leave it as such. There's another panel here that you fold out, so you're going to take this and fold this out, and then under here you're going to see again all these aforementioned panels. You're going to pull this out. There's another panel in here that you have to swing out, and all this does is it helps to fill out the front of the hovercraft mode. So you're going to swing that, swing this in, and you'll see the legs start looking a bit more fuller. So same thing here, swing this out. There's another plastic here that you swing out this, and then this one too, and then you have the feet. Then you're going to essentially push them back out, so like so. So one here like that, and then essentially these legs are going to sit like this in here. And there's a little section here that's just gonna tab in. Essentially these 2 feet, you're gonna put them both together for now. Leave these two sections like that, and these legs are essentially gonna swing into the bottom. Before we do that, this little front portion here, gonna swing this around. Those are the little windows of the hovercraft mode, and these legs here, hopefully I get this right on the first shot. But essentially you're going to unfold them, and I don't know if you could see that, but there's 2 little tabs here. They're going to go resting here on. You need to just fold this in. This is going to at the waist is gonna fold into the chest and tab in. Then what that does is that allows you to then, these two sections here are gonna go tabbed in there. So these two little sections here, and you just gotta make sure everything kind of stays together and in place, and you're left with something like so. Next thing to do here essentially is now you got to put these two sections back in. I kind of just slide them in place. It's a little hard to maneuver just because you have everything in place at this point, but you gotta slide them right in. This is probably one of the more frustrating parts. It's such a great looking figure, and you would think, you know, it's a transformer, they would try and ensure you know, the pieces kind of at least rotate in place, but as you could see, you can just get those in. I know, you know, it's not like manufacturing is easy, but it's the least they could do, right? Anyway, enough with the complaining. Bring these in this way like so, and then that will allow us to rotate the arms, and these will go under here like that. Just gotta get that in there. There's a little tab that these arms tab into, so same thing here. Once you're done with that, you're gonna take this in, have that sitting in there, and then at that point you could take this bottom section here, and there's two tabs here that'll cover up the head, and it will tab into this whole back spoiler section. And then at that point you can then take these two lower sections and you are done. Nice little hovercraft mode. Again, some frustrations with these two parts because you know, it is really a great looking figure. In the transformation, I think it's okay, other than these two pieces that keep falling out, which I really do. Maybe they'll do another run, or like I said, if they do a cartoon accurate looking head, you know, I'm really hoping they fix that part. But as far as the hovercraft mode, it looks awesome. You got your windows here, which were the feet. You got windows up here as well. Everything's kind of covered up nice and neat. Even though the head's kind of just floating there, there is a panel that covers it. And from the bottom, you are going to get some hollowness here. But at least on mine, everything tabs in pretty nicely. So, you know, I don't mind this so much. I mean, when you display this guy in his vehicle mode, he's going to be sitting like this. No wheels though, so he can't really, you know, roll around. Of course, it is a hovercraft, so I guess you could just have him floating around, spinning fan blades here. But overall, I am happy with the way the vehicle mode looks. I am not happy with some of the tolerances around these pieces to get to this mode that require you to take the pieces out. So there is Seaspray in his vehicle mode. And in case you guys are interested, here's a comparison of the new Seaspray. Here is the Titan's Return Seaspray in the middle, and that is like a, I think they re-released this as G2 Seaspray. This is based on the original G1 toy. I think I got this way back in the 1990s, so it's not original, but it's pretty old, it's pretty out there. But you guys could see there the size differences and the looks in comparison to you know, the newest one here in the collection. And for some size comparisons, here on the right we have the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee and the Gears. I forget what line this guy came in. I know there's a retro G1 version of Gears, but this is not it. This is the more cartoon accurate one. I don't recall, maybe this guy was part of Legacy at this point. I have so many of these guys, but that's how Seaspray compares to those two. And then if we want to compare him to here, the Cosmos one here from, God, this was a long time ago. This was a Walmart exclusive as well. It was really hard to get. And then we have Braun. So again, looking really cool. I didn't realize Seaspray was that much bigger, but again, it's really cool to finally get, I guess, a bit more G1 scaled, or at least in scale with all the other recent figures. And two more. There he is next to Beachcomber and Houndair. We have good old Seaspray next to Warpath on the left and Cliff Jumper on the right. I believe this is the Busworthy Bumblebee, And that Warpath may have been from Legacy, but it's been a while, but looking really cool there. And here's a comparison to two Decepticons, Runabout and Run Amok, which I believe both of these were from the Legacy line, or Earthrise maybe, actually Earthrise. So it's been a while for these two. But again, that's what Seaspray compares like to those two. And one last comparison here to Starscream and the Legacy Decepticons there. I think that's Shrapnel, if I'm remembering correctly. And the Starscream here, he has been released so many times at this point, but I forget. I know he's not Studio Series, but one of those lines from way back when. But again, you could see him there next to Seaspray, see how he compares. And one more comparison here to the awesome Studio Series 86 Optimus on the left, and the just as awesome Studio Series 86 Megatron there. Okay, so here we are at the end of the video. Really happy with Seaspray here. I'm glad we got a new version of this guy. For a long time there, the Titans Return version you see there on the left was my only representation on my shelf. You know, the G1 here is nice to have, just as a nice little neat figure, but this one right here will definitely replace that version. Now, as you guys saw during the transformation, there are some things that frustrate me about this figure. It's a good looking figure. It's got some nice posability. I'm just not crazy about these panels on the waist that kind of just tend to just fall apart when you try to transform the guy. I really do think for what the 25 or 30 bucks they're charging nowadays for this size figure, you know, we should expect just a little more in that end. But you know, the figure does look great. Again, it's an awesome looking figure, and you know, he looks really nice. So let me know your thoughts. Do you have this figure, or perhaps you're planning on getting him or waiting? Which I honestly think, if you're looking for a maybe cartoon accurate head, I am thinking that Hasbro will probably release that version, and maybe it'll have these panels fixed so they won't pop out as easy. But overall, I am happy with it. I'm glad I have it in the collection, and definitely I think it'll look really nice on my shelf. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for your very valuable time. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.